The events after drill rapper Julio Foolio's tragic killing have been wild. While the police kept investigating, hoping to make more arrests, Yungeen Ace took everyone by surprise with a move no one saw coming.
Man, come on, man! And what he said, he said, hey, they called my phone, he dropped the low! He dropped the low!
In this video, I'm going to take you through the wild turn of events, starting with Yungeen Ace straight up admitting to being involved in Julio Foolio's murder on camera. Now, I've never seen someone snitch on themselves so clearly. Just days after Foolio was gunned down, his biggest rival, Yungeen Ace, couldn't stop talking about what he did. The crazy part? He didn't realize the cameras were still on when he admitted to ordering the hit on Foolio. He was out here talking about it like it was nothing. Just hours after Foolio's death, Yungeen Ace dropped a track called Do It. In the song, he dissed Foolio hard, using some pretty harsh and disrespectful lyrics. Fans were shocked, and some even wondered if Ace was just casually giving away clues about his involvement. In one line, he says, "Call the phone, say they got the low, I told them do it." It honestly felt like he was telling on himself. Take a look at this. When I first heard it, I couldn't believe my ears. He's literally saying, they told me where Foolio was, and I said, do it. That's insane. And then, there's this part in the song, any day, week, I better come up missing. Better stay on point. Don't be slipping. Sadly, Foolio was slipping when it happened. But the way the song lines up with everything going down, it's crazy. Ace didn't even realize he was giving it all away. Everyone kind of saw this coming, right? Now people are wondering if Yungeen Ace was always planning to make himself look like Foolio's killer. Fans are all over this, thinking this might have been a setup from the start. And honestly, their points are valid. The reactions are wild. Fans are out here analyzing every single line of the song. Some believe the diss track was recorded a week before Foolio was killed, while others think it came right after. No matter what, Yungeen Ace really put himself out there. Some fans are even saying this track could be used as evidence in the investigation. They're pointing out that Ace posted a pool party flyer a week before the incident. Some even think that's when the plan to attack Foolio started. Then, just before Foolio was shot, he posted the party invite with the location. The first comment? People were already predicting something bad was gonna happen. Some believe a week was enough time for Ace to record, do it, and plan the whole thing at the same time. In the song, Yungeen Ace doesn't directly mention Foolio, but the lyrics are pretty clear. He raps about stolens and rentals with choppers and killers in it, and says, catch his ass and do his, you know he finished. If that's not self-snitching, I don't know what is. Ace didn't just diss Foolio, he practically confessed to it. At this point, it's not even a diss track. It's like he's admitting to everything. Yungeen Ace isn't done yet. Just a week after dropping Do It, he came out with another diss track aimed straight at Foolio. Honestly, at this point, it feels like Ace is begging for trouble with all this snitching. 2 diss tracks in 1 week? That's gotta be on purpose. I bet he was thinking, if the first one didn't make a statement, this one definitely will. So, I was still scrolling through all the reactions to Do It when I saw Ace dropped another one. I couldn't believe it. This dude's out here dropping hits back to back like he's DJ Khaled. He called this new track Game Over, and when you listen to it, you can tell it's really game over. Foolio's gone, and now Ace is taking over Jacksonville. From the title alone, you can tell Game Over hits way harder than Do It. The lyrics are straight disrespect. Ace even mentions drinking Don Julio in the video, which feels like a metaphor for winning with Foolio out of the picture. It's cold. And the timing? Ace dropped Game Over on June 28th at exactly 6 p.m. That's just extra disrespect right there. In the song, Ace raps things like, dead on the floor, dead on arrival, Mr. Six, I'm steady screaming out. These lines hit hard when you remember Foolio was ambushed in a hotel parking lot. This track shows just how far Ace is willing to go.
What we gotta understand is this right here. When he say Mr. Six, we gotta realize that that is Julio Foolio's name. Julio Foolio used to call himself Six because he is Little Six and his big brother is Big Six.
Yeah, That's right, both Foolio and his older brother went by the nickname Six. It comes from the 6th block in Jacksonville, where they grew up. The area stretches from 45th and Monterey down to Avenue B. Foolio specifically came from the Northside Hilltop Village apartments, which he called the most dangerous ghetto in Florida. So when Yungeen Ace drops the number 6 in his lyrics, he's definitely talking about Foolio. And Ace did not hold back on this track. The song starts with him saying, "Y'all know I smoke dead people, man. You know what I'm saying? And I smoke 6. He's clearly talking about Foolio here. We've all heard him diss dead people before, especially in his song, Who I Smoke, where he dissed several dead rappers from Jacksonville, many of whom were connected to Foolio, including his brother BBY. In Game Over, Ace drops some heavy lines that sound like he's describing the crime scene itself, for in the car and one of them dead, 3 got hit. I told them they don't want no war with this. This matches exactly what the police said, 1 dead body and 3 injured. Unfortunately, the dead person was identified as Foolio. And to make it even crazier, Ace dropped the song at exactly 6 p.m. It's like he's leaving clues everywhere, connecting everything back to Foolio and the area. It's chilling how it all comes together. It almost feels like Yungeen Ace wanted to make Foolio's name so loud that even the dead could hear it. He's putting it out there so strongly that even his fans are starting to look at him like he's the one who killed Foolio. And then, he drops a song called Game Over. It's like he's confirming everyone's suspicions. The track almost sounds like Ace is admitting to what happened, but he's doing it through his lyrics. I gotta give him credit though. Yungeen Ace is a lyrical genius. His metaphors are top tier, even though they're super disrespectful. The lyrics in Game Over hit hard. For example, he compares Foolio's death to taking a shot of Don Julio. He says, "Mask on, get up close, this another closed case." Don Julio shots to the face. The line, "another closed case," is crazy. Is he saying the cops won't even investigate? It definitely sounds like that. Criminal lawyer Bruce Rivers even reacted to the track, saying that Yungeen Ace is basically asking to be arrested. He warned that if you get too close to the fire, you'll get burned. And with Ace dropping 2 songs in just 1 week after Foolio's death, it really does feel like he's playing with fire. Honestly, I don't get how Ace doesn't see how much trouble he's putting himself in. Game Over is getting crazy reactions online. It's a dope track, but honestly, it feels more like a confession than a diss. I really wonder if Yungeen Ace is trying to get locked up. In an interview with DJ Vlad, Yungeen Ace made it clear that he wasn't ready to end things with Foolio. When Vlad told him Foolio was thinking about squashing the beef, Ace said Foolio was only considering it because he probably thought Foolio was thinking about settling things because he'd gotten what he wanted and was scared for his life. But we all know the gang war in Jacksonville isn't something that can just be wrapped up easily. If you're not familiar with this long-running beef, let me break it down for you. Yungeen Ace's biggest rival in Jacksonville is Julio Foolio. These two don't like each other at all. Even though Ace has said he never met Foolio before becoming famous, their rivalry played a big part in Ace's rise. Foolio is also from Jacksonville, and he's the leader of one of the city's most dangerous gangs, KTA, short for Kill Them All. Even though Foolio denies the gang's existence, the media still linked him to it, based on the activities tied to the name. But let's be clear, gang violence in Jacksonville didn't start with Ace and Foolio. They both grew up in it, and it's been a part of the city's culture for years. Now, June 5th, 2018, is a big day in the story. On that day, Yungeen Ace was out celebrating his cousin's birthday at a club with his brother, Quan, and their friend, Kobe. They were just enjoying the night, completely unaware that things were about to take a serious turn for Ace. Ace even posted a social media update about how much fun they were having. After the club, they went to Wasabi Japanese Steakhouse for lunch and again, posted more pictures on social media. Little did they know, that night would be the start of something that would change everything.
We was coming from Wasabi. It was my little brother's 23th birthday. We just hanging out though.
We had our guard down, that's what it was.
Yungeen Ace has talked about that day so many times, and it's clear it was the worst day of his life. It started off as a celebration, but it quickly turned into something tragic. He still feels guilty about it. He and his little brother were just coming from Wasabi, celebrating his brother's 23rd birthday. They were having fun, letting their guard down, but in the blink of an eye, everything went south. In an interview, he explained how excited they were for his brother, 23, who had just turned 18, but their happiness turned into heartbreak. According to an eyewitness, the ATK crew got into a heated argument with some other people, and it led to gunshots. Yungeen Ace had a different story. He said the shooting happened so fast. 1 minute everything was fine, and the next, he was hit with nearly 8 bullets. His brother 23 was on the ground, reaching out to him for help. Yungeen Ace said his blood brother, Quan, died right away from the shots. 23 was still crying for help, and Ace tried to shield him. That's when he ended up taking nearly 5 bullets in his back. He also revealed that the shooter fired over 100 rounds during the drive-by, killing all 3 of his brothers in the car. Miraculously, Yungeen Ace survived. On that terrible day, Yungeen Ace lost his blood brother, Quan, Trevor Bullard, who was shot 3 times, including a headshot, and died on the spot. His other brother, Royale Devon Smith Jr., 23, was shot almost 5 times and passed away right there too. Kobe, 4, was shot around 12 times and died instantly. Yungeen Ace somehow survived, but he believes it was only by a miracle and maybe even because of a desire for revenge. While still in the hospital, things got even harder. Yungeen Ace didn't have medical insurance, and the hospital wouldn't treat him without it. He was hoping the sheriff's department would step in, but they didn't, and soon enough, Ace was kicked out of the hospital, still with bullets in his body. After that, Yungeen Ace shared a heartbreaking post on Instagram. He talked about how much pain he felt losing his brothers, especially how he tried to save 23 but couldn't. Even though he was thankful to be alive, Ace admitted that sometimes he wished he had died with them. To honor them, he got a tattoo of the 3 of them on his stomach. It was a deeply emotional gesture, but it also raised a big question. Were there any arrests for what happened? Sadly, there were no arrests. This lack of justice made things even more unbearable for Yungeen Ace. It was like the world had just moved on from something so devastating, and that only added to his pain. Things just kept getting harder for Yungeen Ace. After everything that happened, one arrest was made, but it wasn't what most people expected. The police arrested Yungeen Ace and charged him for violating probation. He was already on probation for carrying firearms, and they found him with guns at the crime scene. So, Ace ended up in jail because of that. Things got worse when the court denied him bail, sending him to jail with 6 bullets still in his body. But the hardest part for Ace was that the court wouldn't let him attend his brother's funeral. In an interview with Vlad, he explained that while he was in prison, they forced him to shave his head and even tried to pin the murders of his brothers on him. It's hard to imagine going through so much pain all at once, but Ace faced it head-on and somehow became stronger. While in jail, Ace turned to music to help him cope. He poured his emotions into his songs, expressing his confusion about where life was taking him, but still finding motivation to keep moving forward. After some time, with help from his lawyer, he managed to get out of jail. He then used his pain and struggles as fuel for his music, releasing his mixtape Life I'm Living, where he told his story. The track Pain really hit hard, and as a fan of Yungeen Ace, I was proud to see him turning his life around through music. But not everyone was happy for Ace. Foolio, also known as Lil 6, wasn't exactly thrilled with Ace's success. While Yungeen Ace was dealing with the aftermath of his brother's deaths, Foolio was out here making moves that shocked everyone. If you thought Yungeen Ace was the only one disrespecting the dead, then you haven't seen anything like Foolio. After the attack that changed Ace's life, Foolio didn't hold back. He posted a picture of 23, Ace's brother, on a shirt with "Rest in Peace 23" written on it. But then, in a wild move, Foolio admitted he had actually peed on the shirt and burned it later. It was almost as if he was mocking Ace and the tragedy he just went through. After Ace was shot and his brothers were killed, Foolio took that disrespect to another level. He knew people on the street thought he was behind the hit that killed 23, and he didn't care. He wore that shirt like a badge of honor, showing no remorse at all. But Foolio didn't stop there. He went even further, in a way admitting to the killings by talking about burning a cigar while mentioning the names of his rivals. It was clear, he was sending a direct message to Yungeen Ace. He wasn't just taunting, he was almost bragging, showing the world how he had smoked his enemies. Foolio made sure everyone, especially Yungeen Ace, knew exactly what he had done. Foolio's diss track aimed at Yungeen Ace was something else. It was raw, personal, and went deep into Ace's trauma. Foolio rapped about how he nearly killed Ace, using chilling references to choppers, the same kind of big guns that were used to shoot over 100 bullets at Ace and his crew. But the real disrespect came when Foolio casually dropped his home address in the track, almost daring anyone to come for him. For Ace, this felt like a punch to the gut while he was already down. But Foolio would soon realize how big of a mistake that was. After all that tough talk, his mom's house got hit in retaliation. Foolio had always been fearless, but this time, things were starting to get real. It was a harsh wake-up call, and he quickly learned the cost of disrespecting the wrong people. So, what started all this beef between Foolio and Ace? It goes back to when Ace's affiliate, Casu, was charged for the death of Foolio's cousin, BBY. That loss pushed Foolio into revenge mode. In an interview, he explained, "You disrespected my cousin, so now I gotta dish you back." For Foolio, this wasn't just about street beef, it was about revenge for someone he loved. Foolio had a history of violence and retaliation, and he wasn't afraid to show it. He even took out a hit on Willie Abdullah Robinson, a top member of Ace's crew, claiming responsibility for the attack. Foolio wanted to bring down Ace's entire organization, and he wasn't shy about his plans. But things didn't always go according to plan for him. He made plenty of mistakes, and his guard started slipping. Then, on June 23rd, everything came crashing down for Foolio. Around 4:40 a.m., police got a call about a shooting in a parking lot on McKinley and Fowler. 2 cars were shot at, and when the police arrived, they found Foolio dead. He had just celebrated his 26th birthday in Tampa, but his life was taken in a violent shootout. 3 others were injured and taken to the hospital, but Foolio didn't make it. His death marked the end of a life full of conflict, and it left everyone wondering how things got this far.
All right, so here's what we know at this point. Around 4:40 this morning, we received a 911 call about a shooting that happened here in the parking lot behind me on McKinley and Fowler. What we have learned, and again, this is all very early in the investigation, is that 2 cars were shot at.
Foolio's birthday was on June 21st, but he decided to keep the party going until June 23rd. He promised a big pool party for his 26th and invited everyone on social media, dropping the location for anyone who wanted to show up. The party got huge, but things started to go wrong when the police shut it down because there were too many people at the Airbnb. Instead of letting that ruin his night, Foolio just moved the party to a club and kept things going. Little did he know, danger was closing in. After the club, Foolio drove to the Holiday Inn in Tampa, Florida, to relax for the night, followed by 1 other car. What he didn't know was that the people who wanted him gone were already waiting for him. When he arrived, it was a deadly trap. Around 4:40 in the morning, Tampa police got a call about a shootout at the hotel parking lot. When they got there, they found 2 cars shot at and 4 people involved in the incident. Foolio was dead at the scene, while 3 others were rushed to the hospital in stable condition. The Tampa Police and Jacksonville Sheriff's Department promised to investigate and make arrests. But for Foolio, it was the tragic end to his life, a violent end to a dangerous path he was on. A week after rapper Julio Foolio was killed, authorities launched an investigation and quickly charged 5 people in connection with his murder. The suspects were Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Sean Jeet, Rashad Murphy, and Davin Murphy. While 4 were arrested, Davin managed to escape, disappearing without a trace. But investigators found enough evidence to link all 5 suspects to the crime. Surveillance video showed Isaiah Chance and his girlfriend, Alicia Andrews, pulling into the parking lot of the Airbnb where Foolio's party was happening. Phone records revealed that Chance made calls to the other suspects, and soon after, Rashad Murphy and Sean Jeet arrived in a separate car. Later, when the party moved to a club, more surveillance footage captured both vehicles at the same location. A license plate reader confirmed that both vehicles traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa before the murder and then left the area the next day. Eventually, the vehicles followed Foolio to his hotel. There, 3 shooters armed with rifles and a Glock ambushed Foolio's car, unloading bullets. Foolio was killed and 3 others were injured. Investigators now had a clear view of the tragic events that led to his death. The 3 men who shot and killed Julio Foolio were Rashad Murphy, 30, Davin Murphy, 27, and Sean Gathright. Investigators uncovered some key evidence from the suspects' phones. While Rashad didn't seem to have his phone with him during the shooting, he used Gathright's phone to send 2 messages a few hours later. One said, "I'm coming home. My thirst is quenched. Pop a bottle of Don Julio today." And the other said, "I love you." They thought they were using code, but the police quickly figured it out. Surveillance footage showed that the murder wasn't a random act, it was planned. Isaiah Chance, 21, and his girlfriend Alicia Andrews, 21, were key in tracking Julio. They followed him from Jacksonville to Tampa in a silver Chevy Cruze. The footage also showed Isaiah on the phone, which police later confirmed was Alicia's phone. He was talking to Sean Gathright, who was in a second car, a black Chevy Impala, along with Rashad and Davin Murphy. Within a week of the murder, Chance, Gathright, Andrews, and Rashad Murphy were arrested. Davin Murphy remained on the run until he was finally caught on January 6, 2025. For more details on the case, click the card showing on your screen for more videos.